Hi and welcome to the second episode of the Qulture Qanvas podcast. My name is Asim Bernie and I'm joined with Sania and Riaz. Hi Sania, hi Riaz.
Hey.
Hi.
This is our diversity episode. We're going to be talking about diversity in research a little bit. This is basically what we do. We are, a market research agency specialized in diverse audiences and hard to reach audiences. So this is our bread and butter. And I actually want to go first to the MRS Awards that you attended. And there was also a bit of a theme about diversity there too, right?
Yeah, so I, by the grace of God, I don't know if I can say mashallah on a podcast, but I'm a judge for those, which is really nice because my angle is inclusive research. So I've done all sorts of research. I've specialized in that. So I think that was really nice to have me as a judge and kind of that lens on things. But there's some great work being done in the industry from an inclusive research point of view and also just generally in terms of the topics. There was a lot around, I think, mental health, lots and lots of other stuff. And I've been seeing a lot of integration of a range of different technologies and research. So it's been a really, really nice experience.
Did you attend this year?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't get an invite?
Hopefully we get nominated next year.
Ambitious, man. Ambitious.
I don't know if Sanya can be a judge though.
We can judge ourselves. But yeah, I mean, we've been having this discussion about diversity in market research for a while. We've been core, like you mentioned last episode, they're doing great work. There's a few others out there that are trying to do a lot of work, but there's also a lot of challenges, I feel. Like, we're not there where we want to be, I guess. Do you feel the industry is fearful of diversity?
So I was saying it's a bit of a difficult time. I think for this summer, for the first time ever, I sort of questioned my work, and I never have. And it's a bit like, hey, amplifying the voices of diverse audiences and fighting for equality. Then all of a sudden you get things like the riots. And for the first time I was like, God, are we exposing people more? If we highlight diversity, is there going to be more backlash? And I think that's a fear. But I've sort of worked through that. And our industry, our whole point is to give people a voice to power and create opportunities for people to flourish. And a key part of that is actually diverse audiences, which sadly often aren't given those opportunities to flourish. So I've sort of gone full circle and feel very grounded in the work we're doing, and I'm seeing good work from clients and otherwise. But it is a difficult time in general, I would say, in society. So maybe our clients are a bit worried, but I think we've got an even more of a responsibility to lead them along that journey.
Because it's something that I've really been passionate about for a very, very long time. I've been working in online panels for a very long time, and there was always something missing, and that diverse angle was always missing. And I just felt it was becoming more and more important because back in the day, it almost seemed like they think about it in hindsight, like it's, we'll do all of this and then let's add some quotas here or, weigh the data. And I just felt it's not speaking to the audiences that, we need to listen to, basically. And when the data is used, it's used in a harmful manner and ends up hurting those same audiences, which then is, they don't want to take part, they're very fearful of it. And that's where I wanted to create something that was different from that. And I think it's important because I don't feel the industry is we're not there yet. And I really feel that backlash at the moment, that a couple of years ago with the Black Lives Matter movement that was happening, there was a push from companies that were organically looking for, maybe we failed, maybe we've not done enough. And now it feels like it's the other way around. It's like, please stop talking about it. And I don't know where that kind of puts us then as a minority. What do you think, Riaz?
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, just going back to the riots, it was quite scary, right? And very decisive. And I think in those moments, like, you almost feel like you're taking a step back. But it's definitely finding a balance between, because they need, we as an industry and clients need to stay relevant in this space. But I think it comes from a lack of understanding, right? And it's really important that the industry and specialists like ourselves educate. You only got to look at the Black Report, right? The Black Pound Report. Look how much money is being spent by minority communities.
Yeah.
There's an inherent commercial value in diverse communities. So yeah, I think we just need to kind of keep pushing and educating.
I think there's value, and the value is going to be growing. Diverse audiences are going to be more educated. They're going to be more in number. They're going to be more in spending power. And I don't think we're addressing it as much as we need as an industry. And just to kind of also come back to the riots, I think, because I'm not British, I've been living here for a while, but this was my first British race riot. And we were all checking in with each other, right? Like, are you okay? Is your uncle okay? Is your family okay? And I've literally never been in a situation. And then to see that how the country has just kind of moved on and just forgot about it, like it was like like a football match, hooligans kind of getting together. That I just find an absurd situation. I don't know how that.
Oh gosh, we were doing some research with the South Asian community at that time. I found it really cathartic because I was scared, they were scared. Somehow we managed to get through, and hearing their views actually gave me hope, because people were like, we've seen stuff like this before, it'll be better. But for all of us, it had never gotten this bad. I mean, I was starting to think, my God, if I get kicked out of here, like, 'cause so many of my friends are from different cultural backgrounds or different South Asian backgrounds, so we probably wouldn't end up in the same place. I was like, I want to get to see my friends from I don't know, Sri Lanka or somewhere.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me that we have a very specific British, South Asian, or a diaspora, my favorite word, experience. And what if that was just gone? And I don't think I've ever really feared that before. And I hope that things are settled, but like you've said, there's stuff bubbling away that we're not talking about. And again, that's why I feel so passionately that our industry can do something about that, understand people's voices, diverse communities, and the other side, and what they're feeling, and maybe what are those fault lines that could erupt again, God forbid.
Yeah.
I've gone off on a massive
No.
lecture there.
I don't think you have, because it's something that I think about and I kind of sit with still. Like, for me, it's not over. Like, that when it happened, and it's been what, like 4 months ago?
August, yeah.
Yeah. And I was never fearful, but it made me so angry. Like, I tend to get angry more than I get fearful. And then seeing the reaction of it, and now this, I really feel there's a backlash where people are like, even if you look at, I was reading somebody's report about it, that I think it was yours actually, that DAI budgets were going to get slashed.
Yeah.
And we were discussing it on LinkedIn, and that just infuriates me, right? When you need to be investing more in it, people are now, and I think the idea is we're slashing because either we've solved it or we don't need it.
Totally awesome. And the irony and the really sad thing that, I mean, I wrote an article about this, and it was just a tricky time, I guess, to publish, but this happened right in the middle of South Asian Heritage Month. Yeah. I mean, the irony that we're there trying to support, uplift, understand, and then the riots are happening. Definitely there's something kind of strange going on. Yeah, but like you said, I don't know. Some people seem to be reversing totally the other way. Other people are still going in this positive direction. I think there's a heap of confusion at the minute.
I'll ask something, man. Like, we were all checking in with each other, right? Who was checking in with you? Like, from the industry, were there people that checked in with you?
Industry,
Because I'll just say nobody did. Like, only people that checked in with me were people that weren't British, meaning people in America, people in Asia, clients, suppliers. I was getting messages every other day,
yeah.
Except from people that are from this country, that are not part of our minority, that I've known for years. Nobody seems to talk about it. It's such a weird thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had a couple of people, in fairness, just it was more of like a therapy session, really, just to kind of have a chat about what was going on. But interestingly, we had conversations about, as an industry, we have a duty to just make sure everyone's okay. There's just so much madness going on in the world, right? Irrespective of religion, race, whatever, just is everyone okay?
Yeah.
And, are there any platforms out there that kind of support that?
Well, that's a good question. I think that, do you know what? I, by the grace of God, have got, I think, quite a lot of industry backing. I sit on different committees, but it wasn't so much people. Well, I think I was doing a lot of outward. So I posted quite a lot at that point, thoughts, feelings around that. And maybe that was my responsibility as someone of the heritage who's from the industry. And I got a lot of good, responses to those posts. Very, very like lots of reshares, lots of other stuff. And I think maybe people just don't know how to navigate. But thankfully, I've had the chance to, opportunities to write more about it. So everyone's kind of giving me the platform to do it. But maybe it is still a hard one to talk about, maybe different to...
Is it a fact that you feel you need to be neutral and not so emotive, or?
No, I think no, on this I went fully emotive. I was like, my God, I thought I was going to get evicted. I just, whereas before I've had a tendency to do the whole research
How can
thing.
you not be emotive, right? Like
Yeah.
it was such an emotional time.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of those things where, because I'm not from here, I see this whole, what's that thing they call move along, and what is that expression?
Oh yeah, the train
Keep
one.
on moving.
Yeah, keep on moving. Yeah.
Now I'm
something-
blank. See, that's why I'm not part
I've
of it.
gone blank.
Yeah. Yeah, keep on moving, or whatever it's called, like the sign thing. And
Keep calm and
Oh, that one.
keep
Yeah,
calm and
yeah.
move it.
Yeah,
Keep
that-
calm.
Yeah.
That one. That is such a British thing, right? And I was really, it was the first time I had like a proper culture clash. Like the British are different about it. And maybe that's part of it, where nobody kind of checks in because you just kind of move along. And it happened, and now let's talk about something else. I don't know. It was a weird time, I feel.
I think there's a sadness amongst everyone, almost like embarrassed to be like, did this just happen? And I do feel sometimes it is hard to speak about those things.
I think it was quite explosive in terms of how quickly things just went mental, and I don't think it gave people an opportunity to really kind of talk about it. But yeah, and we'd have an opportunity to talk about it now. So,
But like bringing it back to our industry, market research, right? And you've been having these discussions. You've been trying to push more for, diversity. We see a lot of this because both of us have a ethnic minority fieldwork agency. But the idea is always like, does the industry need to care, or does the industry need to invest? And I am of the mind that they need to start investing now instead of just caring, because I'm kind of like tired of the kind of like opaque, hopeful messages out there that is backed up with nothing behind it. I don't know if you share that frustration with me or not.
Yeah, so invest in the sense of putting more money behind
Yes.
inclusive research. Now we did in the the MRS, Market Research Society's Representation and Research Steering Committee that I'm part of. We did this interesting piece of research on the research industry, where there is this kind of chain within which everyone's in, where they're like, well, actually, if clients don't commission or pay for it, we can't boost our panels because of, and there's kind of this not sure who to. I don't want to use blame, but it's sort of, if everyone doesn't play ball, we sort of can't change the infrastructure. But I think that's what we're hopefully trying to do. But I think, again, for me, it comes down to, I don't know that there are many other industries that can hold others to account in the way we can, or help support inclusivity in the way research can, because that is our whole remit. Especially when you're looking at how the national population feels. Well, 1 in 5 people approximately is now, like from an ethnically diverse background. So I think we've got a real responsibility. So for sure, I think we need to invest more.
yeah, definitely. It's definitely about long-term engagement and not performative efforts, right? Just I have frustrations in terms of budgets. And that's not me trying to make more money, but genuinely, it's.
I am.
Yeah. There is that.
But,
yeah, it's just if you're really going to invest in something and understand the community, then you really need to put some money behind it, because there's a lot of strain for us to try and do that work on a very little budget. And there are great examples of it. I mean, you can see like Netflix, they've like invested a lot in terms of the shows that they're doing. If you look at like the South Korean Squid Games and then the Spanish The Heist, also they're doing a lot of stuff with underrepresented audiences and commissioning specific projects. Sanya, you know quite a bit about the Nike campaign. They've done quite a lot. So there is great examples of it, but I just find they just need to do more.
Because I feel because obviously we also speak with brands, we speak with supplier side, we speak with so many different and publishers, and we all see the same challenges, right? Like the thing that we feel that as a diverse research agency, these bottlenecks that we're seeing them at the brand side, every side that we're seeing, it's the same issues we come across, and investment seems to be the one that a lot of times the client will say, this is important to us. We want to have a part. This needs to be part of our brief. But when the budget comes, that's the first thing that goes.
Yeah, I think there's a disconnect. I think there are brands that are maybe quote unquote more focused on diverse audiences who maybe don't have the history of doing research in the same way. And then there are brands that are maybe trying to appeal to diverse audiences that aren't necessarily putting as much into it. But having done this, we've all worked in this for a while, but when I started a company called, actually I shouldn't say the company. When I first started,
everybody can just go to LinkedIn and figure it out.
I love that company. But we used to laugh that we couldn't give away diverse data for free, even. Nobody cared. It was only ever, the work was only ever sort of counter-extremism work or the odd makeup brand. But now you're seeing that it's a lot broader and there's more interest because they're like, oh, there's like 1 billion people over there that might stream our music. So I'm okay with, as much as I'm like social impact to my core and want people to do things for the right reasons, I also think commercialism is what is going to lead to sustained interest. Yeah. So on social media, like the work I do in South Asian music, South Asian trends are often like trending on Instagram here, or the shows are trending on Netflix. And that's what 5 million people in the UK are driving major trends on platforms. So I think the value of the audience is becoming increasingly clear.
Because I even hear it from, because I have another podcast about, movies and things like that. And I speak with content creators, with directors, producers, and all of their budgets are getting slashed, as kind of diverse voices out there, right? And that wasn't the case a couple of years ago, where there was a strong focus that this is what we want. Right. And that's not happening anymore. Even if you look at TV, even people at BBC Asian Network, there's been a lot of slashing of budgets across the board, and that's just sad to see. Yeah,
and it's confusing as well, especially when you know the power of the consumer from these diverse audiences.
Yeah, it's the way of the future, but there seems to be some issue there that suddenly has popped up in the last maybe year and a half.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can even find a solution for this necessarily, but with all of these issues about diversity, all of the challenges that we see, I want to kind of finish on a final note. Do you still love MR? Do you still love market research?
I do. I was talking to someone the other day and my eyes lit up. I was like, if only I had data on this. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I just weave data into absolutely everything. I think it is so powerful and it's so interesting, and there's so much stuff that hopefully we'll be able to publish soon as well on key topics that I think would be really game changing if that information was out there, because sometimes this data shows that we're actually very similar to everyone else. Sometimes it shows opportunities and difference and need, and I think maybe it's a chicken and egg situation. The more we can put that interesting stuff out there, that will hopefully lead to more demand and investment.
Yeah, I think with every industry it's got its challenges, right? But yeah, I love market research. I got involved to give underrepresented audiences a voice, and knowing that those voices can make such a big impact inspires me. So yeah, I do love it.
I still do, because again, I'm a generalist. I just live on the internet too, so I just love these trends and how it kind of reflects in market research. But I also say that we've been doing Qulture Qanvas for 6-7 months now. What is coming for us and the conversations we've been having, that also excites me. The things that we will be working on, the things that we will be doing, the plans we have. That also really, really excites me. I mean, this podcast is one of those plans, and I'm already having fun with this. So, like that's what really excites me. And that's kind of part of the market research ideas that we have. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this podcast. I'm excited to working with you guys, and I'm excited to do more of these podcasts and have more of these conversations. So if you have another topic that you want us to discuss, let us know. Drop us an email at hello@qultureqanvas.com. And I'm Asim.
Sanya.
And Riaz.